Hello, Gravitron. Hello, everybody. Hello, Gravitrons. I'm more gravity. Let's play chess. Okay, so I played this game here over on leechess.org, and let's try presenting first at Leechess. And knowing me, I'll probably have to skirt over to where I'm more useful. More used to on uh, chess.com. But I think it's fair to the, the lead chess people to try their wares here, whatever you want to call it. It sounds way sketchier than it really is. I'm talking about chess, folks. Okay, I'm gonna try to resize this, and now we have. Okay, now the window is restructured for lead chess. Where this game was considered accurate, winning side 95%, 34 center pawn loss per move, and the losing side 83% with 63. So this is a reasonably accurate game of chess. Let's see that the chess.com numbers show that as well. This game was accurate. All right. Scroll up here. Again, I played this on Leechess. I'm also now presenting leechess.org's, their GUI, if you will, graphic user interface. So just bear with me if I'm not quite on top of things. I don't like the arrows, but don't hold me to that or anything. I can do this on my own. Just this very standard start. This is the Italian game. This is the deciding and defining position of the Italian game. Bishop e7 it's an anti-fried liver move, which gives black just enough time to play knight f6 and then kingside castle, so that if f7 is gonna go and white has so determined, then f7 will go, my rook will go, but so too will these two white minor pieces. All right. Pawn to c3, knight f6. d3. You know, I don't like these arrows here on the review, and I'll deal with that and present in within leechess.org at some point in the future. But for now, I'm gonna move the game over to chess.com, and we have to make sure that makes sense with our broadcasting software. Thank you, angels. Some people use that expression. Okay, so here we are. We'll just let it play to that same spot or near it. Italian game, and a bishop e7 is a fine move. Pawn to c3 introduces the Giuoco pianissimo, which means the very quiet piano. It doesn't mean it's the quiet extreme piano, but whatever it is the Giuoco pianissimo in Italian means quiet piano. It's kind of a strange name because yes, sometimes this move c3 is very sort of quiet, stays in the background. It's a useful move in this, but the Italian game with move 4 c3 is a blast. Okay, these games become like really tactical and different from each other, and it's a great opening for anyone to learn how to play. It can be played at any level, and I recommend it. Knight f6. Then, so after pawn to d3, I played d5. I gotta here with black to move. I'm gonna open up the position right away. This is black's chance. Sometimes you don't get more than one chance. Eminem knows about this. To open up the position on move 5, and black has enough coverage on the d5 square after d5 has been played to deal with, if white wants to liquidate fully on d5. So pawn to d5. Bishop to b3. I don't like this. One of the features of playing c3 is perhaps a battery, and quite certainly black has pretty much destroyed that chance of occurring on b3 and c4, at least for the moment. But bishop back to b3, I would wonder if white wants to play, did I say black meaning white again? Anyway, Michael Jackson's got words on this. So we play bishop to b5, pinning the knight. It's not bad. There's no way to get destroyed out of this because white can always ditch the light squared bishop on c6 and maybe even double some pawns in the process. But I think the strongest contest here for white, this is with white to move, might be e takes d5. And yes, there will be some liquidation on d5, but I don't know what else to say. Let's check the analysis. We have to make sure that 2 is displaying correctly. Fantastic. Summer's on, let's see, about a month of summer left. And you think back to school and all that. Anyway, e5 is best. Yeah, so the computer agrees. E takes d5 maintains an advantage for white. Agreeing to that. Knight takes d5 immediately, and black is happy with the dynamic game here. So anyway, my opponent played bishop to b3, d takes e4, d takes e4, and the problem is queen takes d1 check. Recapturing with the bishop all the way, but now black gets a pawn on e4. And is the pawn ahead with hardly any detriment beyond that. I mean, I know the light squared bishop has done a hop-c over here, but white's pieces are on the back rank, whereas black's, for the most part, are not. So, let's see. Counting only minors, these are the exceptions. And so black might want to instigate an attack soon, or just react with being a pawn ahead. Kingside castles here is safe, and maybe black had better. f6 to keep a really strong hold over the pawn at e5. It looks like the knight at e4 has quite enough squares to which he may go so as not to be a liability. So pawn to f6 is a better move. We see that actually the evaluating engine Torch 4 considers that there are quite a few better moves than kingside castles. So I'm critical too now of kingside castles based on this. f6, I mean the idea with f6 is you play it to strengthen the pawn chain, and I'm a little worried about black's dark squared bishop's placement on the board. Maybe he goes to c5 and doubles back to b6 and is fine. It takes f6, bishop c5, and bishop b6. That's 3 moves. Does black really have that kind of time in terms of initiative? So now kingside castles is strong. No, wrong. Kingside castles was not the greatest move. It's also not the end of the world. So on we go. Knight takes e5. Okay, so that's bad. I think my opponent was counting on being able to have this awesome skewer of like 3 minor pieces, and that is pretty close to what could have happened. But certain move, my knight move, knight takes f2 here is one great way to dispatch against all that. King recaptures, then the check, which is also a fork. When the king moves, capture the rook. King recaptures, and now there's no rook raining down against e7 to make that a weakness. Not only that, but it's black's turn to move. So just this flurry of moves here was well calculated. I had the right move in mind, and I played it. I'm glad for that. Okay. All right. Let's do the review. Now, after bishop to g4, I'm being sharp here, and for good reason. Bishop takes g4, then rook e1 checkmate, taking account of all available parties. So white has to find some kind of move to save things, and pawn to g3 doesn't do it. Bishop takes e2 check. Then we'll withdraw the attacked bishop, and black is ahead a lot of material. So I'm going to let this more or less just play. If I see something that I need to mention then, or look into further, then I'll do that. But this is mostly just jostling around. We're looking for equal value material trades, or black is looking for equal value material trades. Like that one, the rooks are gone on f2 there, and now the situation is clear with black a rook and 3 pawns, I think, a rook and 3 pawns ahead in material, and he's going to go on to win the game. Let's do that in practice. Alright. 64 moves. 64 moves, guys. That took longer than it had to. I was trying to keep all pieces on the board. Some players like to finish that way. I'm playing against the computer, so the computer doesn't mind that. As far as I know, that's not. The computer doesn't mind that. We'll get these accuracy numbers from the engine here. Alright, so yeah, that's great. A really accurate game. I'm glad to see that. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Gravitrons. I'm more gravity. Have a great night.